Happy Wednesday, everyone. Super excited to be here today as we delve into winter solstice, as we master more of ourselves, and as we go into this season, which many are not celebrating the way they used to. And I find this beautiful and fascinating all at the same time. I would love to hear from you. How are you celebrating this season? How has it shifted for you? I know at my house, so my daughter turns 19 in January, so she's wrapping a few presents right now for the family. So I put her onto that. And there's no tree in my house. There's no decorations in my house. We're gonna go up to Whistler to stay with a friend who's alone for the season. And his same friend that I go and visit on Savory, he has a place in Whistler. So we'll get to go stay in the snow and at a beautiful lodge, and he'll have a tree. And so there'll be lights there, and we'll bring some games and we'll do some baking. So more about what you make of it versus what's expected of you. And so as we go through shifts and changes, and it's funny because Jade and I had a conversation. I said, "So you were never upset that you were misled regarding the Easter Bunny, Santa, or the Tooth Fairy?" No, it was wonderful. It was magical. And so we don't ever want to take that away from the kids. Whatever is their joy, so to speak. Yeah, please thumbs up because I'm terrible at asking, aren't I? Hi, Shay, love. Good to see you. Carolyn's in the background. Thank you, Carolyn. So we don't want to take away the joy of children, right? We don't want our truth, our process. And Jade is very well aware of how I feel and where we're at. And I told her last year was the last year with the tree here. And that was my choice, to not be in that hubbub and to not get caught up in anything, to really just spend more time playing games, doing some baking, puzzles, and connecting. Because your presence will always be the best present, right? So if you're spun out and you're too busy between work and play, and hello, just Fritz, work and play and being too busy, then you're not present. You're too busy thinking about what's next. So I invite you today to let's just take a few giant breaths. And just come into your heart space. So most of the time I now ask, what would my heart do? What does my heart want to do? What would love do? For love is not an emotion, it is a state of being. It's a way of operating that no matter how somebody else responds or acts, it's from their buildup of life and just where they're at. And so it's quite interesting just to be the observer and to stay in a beautiful neutral spot and not react. And we all have that power within us. To me, it's a superpower. Can we not react? Yes, it's the decision you make. 100%. Absolutely. And just knowing that anytime you start to feel a little out of alignment, just take a few deep breaths. And when you breathe out longer than you breathe in, your entire vagus nerve, which runs through your back, will calm down. In fact, I have a little surprise for you today. I'm going to show off something that I have, and you're going to have to give me just a minute while I figure it out. But this really leans into this conversation. And let's go to the window. It's not a Chrome tab. So let me see if this will work. Let me see if I can pop it up. Right now, of course, it just shows me. And let's see if it changes to when I click on here. So it's just this little test I have to do. Since I have 10 cats, I have not decorated in 10 years. Do you know, you remind me of a story when I was young, and I was maybe 7 or 8, and we were watching something on TV as a family, and the tree was just to the right of the TV, and all of a sudden the tree just starts going, "Timber!" And then the cat comes flying out. So, yeah, we know what cats can do. They just can't, they're just curious. They just can't help themselves. They know not what they do, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna try this another way here. Present, and let's try slides and PDFs. That's not it either. So, all right, we'll get this figured out here. In the meantime, yeah, mantle. So I picked up some boughs. I was out on a hike and was told bring some home because there was a big windstorm. And I was able to bring home quite a few beautiful cedar boughs and some other evergreens. And I'm like, oh, well, this is really, really, really nice. Absolutely. This is a beautiful way to um, go ahead and have a little bit of that Christmas season. I also have something called a Fraser fir candle, which makes it smell like Christmas. So that to me is most important. And let's just try this. So we're going to add this to the stage. Yes, it looks really weird. And let's just see what happens when I click on this. I don't think it changed. So I might have to upload this. All right. Yeah, and that was user error. Are we surprised? These things happen. Ah, silly me. All right. I'm not going to try and share this right now. So, but basically, right? I just took myself out of the studio and I'm so grateful to have the studio. All right. So, it is talking about the body and the different parts of the nervous system that come together within the center of the body and coming down. And each one of those centers, also known as a chakra, and this comes from ancient India. Like we're talking ancient India. This is way, way, way back. A little bit of esoteric, but it also is very scientific. So if you would prefer to think about it, it's where all the nerves come together and hold space as a connecting point within the body. And so you'll have those points throughout the body. And so those are points that when we breathe really deep and we fill our belly because we have more hairs on the bottom of our lungs than the top, and we breathe out, we're flooding our body with oxygen. It's very calming. Hi, Cindy. And because we're electromagnetic beings, in other words, you have electricity, can you not feel it? If you put out your hands and say, activate energy healing, please. Try it right now. Activate energy healing. And I just tend to snap my fingers. There we go. And you can feel. Can you feel in your hands, which we also call terminals, like a battery? Your feet and your hands are the terminals. That's why it feels so good to have bare feet in the sand. Can you feel the energy in your hands? Now, what if you put your hands together and further apart? Can you feel the energy between them? Yeah, who needs it? Right? We all need it. Yeah. So you can feel, I can feel the energy. I can feel the neurons around my head. When I'm activated, it's full on activation. Like I'm already breaking a sweat. And so this is the electromagnetic. Magnetic keeps us on earth, also known as gravity, right? And so when we go and we get bare feet in the sand or bare feet on earth, we're balancing ourselves. We're connecting with earth to ground in, or you put your hands on a tree. These are the things, and I'm giving you these tools right now. You may have heard them before, but here's your beautiful reminder as we go into this holiday season and we're around family and friends. Maybe we're not all on the same frequency, that we have a beautiful opportunity to manage ourselves and manage our energy. And so we can go into this with some tools. I say the energy healing because, maybe your neck gets stiff and you can just put your hands on your neck. Yeah, use your grounding mat. Beautiful. Absolutely, especially through winter months when it can be challenging to get outside. Many success stories with grounding mats. Some people sleep on them. I do neither. I get outside onto the tree. That's just sort of always been my mandate, and I can ground myself even inside. In fact, you may even just try this. Put your hand out and set the intention to be grounded now. You can also imagine creating with your hands, like silver plates, and you can put them under your feet, right? And you're standing on plates, so you're always grounded on those beautiful plates. They keep you connected at all times. Where attention goes, energy flows. Sometimes you may have a tingling sensation, an increase in vibration from circulation. Yeah, absolutely, Just Fritz. Thank you. Yeah, give me everything you guys do. We would love to hear what you utilize for this holiday season. And also that, singing, toning, it can shift your mood so quickly, so can dancing, right? Do a little dance, sing a little song, connecting to water in the shower or a bath. Yes, or a float tank. I went to a float tank a couple weeks ago. I gotta go back again. And or a sauna, right? There's so many tools that one can utilize, and the intention is everything. Yes. But floating in so much salt water that there's a crust of salt water on your body like that because you're really floating in the water. You're not touching anything. You're floating on top of the water. They put that much salt in there, and it's a deprivation tank, so it gets closed up, and you're in there all alone. And I'm like, "Yay, nobody can get me. I can just be free." Right? And if everything is energy and everything is frequency and water is affected by vibration, yeah, absolutely, Cindy, beautiful. Use that voice. I I had a funny song coming in this morning that I'll need to work on around Gen Z. I don't know why this is or, Gen X. I don't know why it's coming through. There's probably one for Gen Z too. Coming in so strong right now, but it's to be creative, to play, to quit being so serious, to find joy in every moment because you get to control that moment. And if somebody else is controlling you, why is that? So we're gonna bring you back, but you can do the vowels. Ah. You can move it down and see where it hits in your body because you're using your own vocal cords and you're toning yourself, which shifts the vibration. So you can listen to frequencies, sound bowls. There's rife frequencies, which are they may irritate you a little bit because they're more of a steady tone, so they can be a little bit annoying, but they can be very, very healing. There's an article I caught of a woman with, is it elephantitis? Correct me if I'm wrong. And they did a recording of her voice, and you can see the recording on the screen. And then above that, there's an isotope, what they called it, and they did the opposite isotope. Light language, absolutely. The opposite isotope within 3 minutes of listening to this tone frequency. Boom, she felt better. She goes, "I feel like I just had a big shot of Jack Daniels, it's gone." So, this is the new technology, but it's our technology, it's in us. So your tone, your vibration is meant for your body. Just like your heartbeat is as unique as your thumbprint, there's only one you. There's only one of you here. No two are the same. So when we think about this and we're like, "Oh, I can't sing." Well, I used to say the same thing. You don't have to sound good, but you will improve the more you practice, like anything. You didn't know how to drive a car when you first got in the car, your nerves were all, right? Until you got comfortable and now you could drive anywhere and go, "Oh, how did I get here?" So this is part of this toning and often working with an instrument, with a drum, with a sound bowl, with a rattle, with anything, it makes it a little easier. But I run through the vowels. That song, Supercalifragilistic, would be good. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun. So the more you tone, the more you practice, the more you can shift those energies in your own body and shift your vibration. You're going to see a lot more coming out of this. There's such a beautiful movement happening right now, politics aside, because honestly, it's like watching a really bad movie or a good movie, depending on which side or what you're perceiving it to be, but it's external. So let's take it internal and control what we can and do what we can for ourselves. For we are creating our reality. If you choose not to watch something, does it really exist for you? Now, I'm not saying one should, I don't ignore, I'm aware of everything going on out there, but can I affect or infect that? Not really. But I can choose to, interesting that's going on. And I say that a lot. Oh, interesting. I find that very interesting. But I don't get attached to an outcome from it because it's out of my control. And this has led to many a soul struggling right now. And then on the other side of that, we have people that are not paying any attention to the political show or the game going on. Yeah. I was literally searching for it Sound of Music. Yes, it's a beautiful one. Absolutely. Create your own I didn't know that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And the endocannabinoid system is very important for the body. We got systems we didn't even know about. So, and this is what we're all going to get to learn and master, myself in particular, because I can only speak for me. Like, I don't go to the doctor anymore. If I had a broken arm or a big slash and I needed to go, I would go. But I don't go for any regular appointments. I don't do mammograms. I don't I don't do anything they tell me to do. I do me, and so I've got many tinctures in my house. I have many herbs in my house. I know when to add something to my diet just from intuition. I bought a bag of beets the other day. Guess who's gonna be having some beet juice? Maybe even doing some, shaved beets, making sauerkraut with some beets in it and cabbage, purple cabbage and purple beets. Yum. Now I do that and I utilize apple cider vinegar only, no regular vinegar, only apple cider, because that is good for the gut flora, right? So there's these things that we do in life and we start to learn something new. My drink, for example, which is in this bottle right now, ginger, fresh, slow pressed ginger, turmeric, lemon juice, water, pepper, and cayenne pepper. Sometimes I add cinnamon. And if I'm fasting, I will sometimes add maple syrup. Absolutely. Beet powder and add to your water bottle. Yep. Right? I also, or my mom, "What am I getting you for Christmas? What am I getting you for" finally, and she took me into a tea shop, and I was like, "No, I don't want anything in here." And it was just not the right time because she wasn't feeling well either. I said, "Don't worry about it right now." And then we went down, Jade and I were in another, spot to go to a Christmas market here in North Van. There's a night market, and went into the Key, and in there was a beautiful tea shop. They had cast iron teapots, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's my style." Yeah. Maple syrup, a high-grade maple syrup, if you are fasting, gives you B12 and will assist in keeping your energy up. It does not burn the same as a white sugar or as a, um, what am I thinking of? Corn syrup. or glucose, not even close. So, but if one is trying to fast and extend, I always say to people, if you're starting to fast and you're just beginning, you're gonna kick yourself into a fight or flight with the body, right? So if you're gonna start fasting and you go on a water fast and you go on a water fast for, I'm gonna do 3 days, I'm gonna do a week, it can really be quite hard on your system. I would much rather that people consider doing intermittent fasting, extending the day fast with some support and help as needed. Bone broths would be good, or the drink that I just mentioned. So you can build up to it and you don't put your body in such a shock because it can be quite shocking to the system. It's also good to actually do a cleanse with some herbs and support. So there's one called the Wild Rose Cleanse, and then even that, doing your organs, and they should be done about once a year, right? Things like Shilajit. I always do that one. I don't know why that one goes back and forth for me. Doing that is like gets rid of heavy metals in the system. So does turmeric. So we have all these beautiful things: borax, baking soda, food grade 3% hydrogen peroxide, for example. So there's so many options and ways of taking control of your health, and I recommend doing it intuitively. Now, I'm gonna show you the rod, and I have a couple. I have one here which I really like. This one's got a crystal on it, and it's actually frequency run up to hertz, and Luke, the one they call Luke, made it. He's making me a hula hoop. He also made me that little magic one that I've got. So sometimes toys can be fun. Zeolite for metals, chlorella, yes. Yes, chlorella's great. I go on and off actually, I have some right now. I made a pudding with chia seeds, organic coconut milk, um, and greens in it, so chlorophyll and wheatgrass. And then I put just a tiny bit of maple syrup in there, and then I added in, what was my last addition? I added in something else. Oh, I usually add in some, sprouted nuts. Just and it oh, and, frozen wild blueberries, because then it's like this, it's a little bit of something, but it's very cleansing. So I'm cleansing my system as I build up into doing these fasts. So Christmas is a tough time to fast, but it's not bad to extend your fast a bit. So, and I tend to find, and I'm pointing at you all right now with my little crystal. Yeah. So Um, should humans be eating 3 times a day? Some, right? So no one is perfect. No, there is no perfect way. The only way that's perfect is for you, which is why I love to teach people how to body dose. You can hold food in your hand and see if the food is good for you, or you can use a rod. So I use a rod a lot for visuals when I'm working with people. It's very helpful, and I love to teach people how to body dose. And so uh, in body dosing, even for quantities, does my body want this right? Hey, body, would you like to have this right now? No, we're good. A lot of the times I'm like, yeah, but I want it, but I'm not going to have it. So, really getting connected with the body. Who are you? What do you need? What makes you tick? We've been so brainwashed to just eat unconsciously. And even I'm mastering eating slower and savoring every bite. Yes, you can claim it's good for you to a level and degree. I mean, if you were eating nothing but sugar all day long, I don't think you'd feel very good after a while, regardless of how much you claimed it. Yeah. So we definitely don't want to be overclaiming things. So, as we go into the holidays, savor those bites. Yeah, that was a joke. Well, I will do that sometimes. I clear most food. So that energy activation, I use that on food. I use that on my drink. I use it on water. I use it on my body. I use it when I'm washing my body. So then I'm always highly aware of my vibration and my frequency. Oh, how does this make me feel? Why do I feel this way right now? And really tapping in to balancing and bringing yourself back into the body. We've been so trained to operate from the mind and only the mind. When you have a heart, that was the first thing when you were in fetus that grew, that has a heartbeat that is only you. Nobody else's nobody's heartbeat's the same. They are all that unique. And so then your body is just as unique. I think if everyone's all of a sudden said, "Oh, I'm gonna be a carnivore, I'm just gonna eat meat," well, that I just can't see it. It doesn't sense right. You know, if we were hunter-gatherers still, maybe, right? But you would still eat berries. It's all the processed food, cutting out more of that processed food, right? And being, again, really conscious about what you're consuming. And so I'll go back to the teapot. It's black, of course, black kettle. Um, it's beautiful, and it comes with a stand, and you can have a little candle under it and keep it heated, and then they have all these beautiful tea mixtures. I'm like, "Oh, this is great." That's up my alley. I would enjoy that, and I would definitely take that to Vedette. Speaking of Vedette, we'll get to that. And as we realize our likes and dislikes, and we cleanse and we purge and we get rid of things mentally, emotionally, and physically, and we start to feel better, can we all just take a moment and look back a year ago? So just before Christmas last year, how did you feel? Where were you at? Did you grow since last year? Have you changed? What's changed? What's the one thing that stands out the most for you for having changed? One thing. Every little cell. It's the other song I sing. Every little cell, every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad. Every little cell is healthy and well. Talk to yourselves, talk to your body. You know, "Good morning, body. How you doing today?" Take a few deep breaths and just put your attention intention to kinda run through your body. Carolyn, that's beautiful that you're more at peace. Absolutely. I think many of us have waited long enough that, it's like, chuck it in the bucket. Things will all unfold as they unfold. What can I control? What can I do for me right now in this moment in time and space? But running your own energies through the body. And maybe it's just for 10 deep breaths. Maybe you start off your morning with a little gratitude. Well, I'm so grateful for my bed. I don't want to get out. Yeah, I'm so grateful that I have this beautiful home to reside in, and I'm healthy. I have my health. Many don't. My mindset's damn good. Yeah. My exercise is right where it should be. Hi, Chrissy. I love spending time outside hiking in nature. Today, I did some yoga and stretching and a little bit of like extra with a little bit of weight, 15, 20 minutes max. That's it. No, this is the girl that used to do hit workouts for an hour. I can't even fathom doing that anymore. But we're talking high intensity, like lots of knee tucks. Lots of, like, one movement for, like, a minute straight, and you just go as hard as you can, like, as if you were, training to be a football player. I'm kinda done with all that. And even my walks in nature, I'm much more like, if you just went out in nature and you just ignored your phone and you just listened, what are 5 things you hear? What are 5 things you see? And just listen intently. Be ever so present. That will calm your nervous system like that. Nature always nurtures. It's such a beautiful thing. Everything is always working out for my highest good and the highest good for everyone with grace and ease. Beautiful. Absolutely. Hello, Norma Jean. Yeah. What lights you up in the morning? And I've gone from not drinking coffee to using coffee to having a soft, slow 1 cup in the morning now, and then going, "Okay, can I just back off and not have any more?" And I can. I'm introducing matcha tea. Who knows matcha tea? It's the tea that you have in the bowl with the wooden whisk, and it's a whole mini moment, a little mini meditation. Making tea can be like that, and it's got all kinds of goodies for you. True cacao, you know, that's another one. There's so much goodness in that for you, and if you put a little honey in it, right? Now, Jade'll scoff at it because she's still got too much of a sweet tooth, but she's coming around. She's coming around. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Everywhere we go, even when you're going outside, and so now try and interact with the environment a bit more. How much can you control? So if you're going to a dinner and you have family that you're like, I don't wanna go, but I'm gonna go. Last year this happened." Stop and breathe for a few minutes and, ho'oponopono. Does everyone know that prayer? The Hawaiian prayer. If you have a rub with someone in your family, you can do the Ho'oponopono prayer, and you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. In that forgiveness, because it's, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you." It's for you, because you're dissipating that energy between you and this other person. And so if you did that every day, a couple times a day between now and that event, and then you visualize that event going really smoothly, peacefully. Might not be perfect because what's perfect anyway, but peacefully. Mark, that's great that you love matcha tea. Thank you for sharing. Peacefully, because what's perfect anyway? Because you have that much power. That's how powerful you are. And you may also try commanding as you walk out the door, as Chastity has been saying, "I command all traffic be free for me wherever I drive today." And command a parking spot, right? And visualize where it's going to be for myself. You have that much power. So if external things are controlling you, try and reverse it so that you can adjust to it, so to speak, or push. Not, I wouldn't want to say push, alchemize it. So you can alchemize it. Most things are just energies, and you're getting an energy based on your expectation of someone, or the energy that you're putting out will always be reflected back to you. So I used to fight fire with fire. Move the traffic, absolutely. So when somebody was angry and being angry at me, well, I would just get angry back at them because who are you to talk to me that way? And then what happens? It escalates. So now I'm calm as a cucumber and I'm just observing. And I'm not the one speaking, I'm not the one thinking, I'm the one observing that. And when you just calmly observe somebody losing their shit, my my new response is, "Huh, okay, I hear what you're saying. Are you doing okay?" Because that was quite, it's more harmful for them to react that way because if everything's vibration and your body's there and it's listening all the time, every single cell, you're discombobulating yourself. So why would you do that? And I'm not gonna say that one doesn't get angry once in a while. I got a lot of patas that come out of my mouth because that was my swear word when Jade was little. Little did I know a patah rod is something from Egypt. So go figure, things have been going on a lot longer than even I realized. And so we go into these events and these worlds, we have more control than we realize. But it's up to you to balance yourself before you enter the room, before you enter the family gathering, to take a few minutes to yourself or take a break and say, I just need to go for a little walk. Anybody that knows me, I don't go for coffee. Let's do a walk and talk. Because I'd way rather be walking and talking than sitting. And I find it becomes much more gossipy when you're sitting. I don't know why. That's what I noticed recently. So getting out and walking and talking, and then it becomes more productive to me because people, when they're not one on one and focused and thinking about what's around them and what's going on over there and who said what, and they're just walking, the words flow easier. Anytime I want to have a conversation with someone in that way, it is always generally out in nature, any deep conversations. And you get some really beautiful heart to hearts for when somebody feels really, really heard. Your hearts will connect. Yeah. Cadence. Yes, Shay, absolutely. Yeah. So, has that been helpful to give you some tools for going into the holidays? And what other tools do you use? Do you take a break? Do you step outside? I'll be the first one to like take kids and go do something. Like, kids, we're gonna go play because they don't sit in the house. They get all loud and kind of wound up. Well, yeah, they're having sugar. Yeah, so good to get outside. Thank you. Yeah. And if you're feeling a little bit alone over the holidays, you know, reach out. We get a whole Telegram group of people. We're always chit-chatting. We have a monthly on the 28th, we have a Zoom for those who are curious. It's a free Zoom once a month. You may come, you may choose to join membership. It all depends on where you are. And we have a whole we have a beautiful new site coming that I'm very excited about because it'll bring this conversation all onto the website. So it'll be a one place for everything, which has been quite the build, so to speak. We also have a couple surprises coming up. One, you also have, let me finish up there. You have enter for a draw for a free 1 hour with me. Your name goes on the draw. We do a draw once a month. Your name stays in the jar if you were not drawn. So every time we draw, you have an opportunity to win. We do that early the first week of the following month for the previous month. I do free 30-minute sessions for new people who want to come in. You can book that on the website under Tanja. Yeah. There's a bunch of like PDFs and teachings, and I was trying to show you that one book that'll be new. That'll be going into the site as well. And so we're always sharing and growing. There's custom meditations. There's opportunities to connect with other like-minded people, share recipes, share ideas. There's so many opportunities for you if you're feeling alone. Sometimes it's up to you to reach out and say, hey, do you have time for coffee or a walk? How about a walk and talk? Right? We have some members meeting up where they are because they're close by. We have some connecting online right now. For when someone feels seen and heard, it allows them to relax a little and view things in a new way. And I can tell you right now, the biggest thing for us is we're not here to tell you what to do or how to do it. We can share our experiences and we can reflect or mirror those energies we're seeing within you at this time so that you may see them yourself. And I'm not saying mirror as in like you're upset, we're going to be upset. No, mirror as in like we see you, we see that this is a pattern for you, right? And so it's a really beautiful way of becoming more of who you've always been meant to be. That's really what it is. Absolutely. And we made a decision on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. Ashala was here. Ashala, the lovely Ashala Yardley. And we are going to Egypt and Greece. We're going in May. Originally, we thought next fall, but we're going to go in May, which got me like, I just have to say it. And I'm like, oh, So all this information's been coming in around Egypt. It's almost like I've gone back there. Anytime you look at a video, Norma Jean's been creating videos and she's been basically traveling there. I'm so grateful before each time I go. Not only am I a new being, a new person, but I can take all the tools from my last 2 trips, and I already know some of the energies. I already know how things will unfold. I already know where in that prep, and it isn't just a 1-week trip or a 10-day trip. This is more about an adventure that starts at least a month before and runs for a month after, and we hope you join membership because once you come into the fold, you're part of the family, the part of the soul family. And this so it is getting to know who you truly are and going through this awakening process while there. The energies that you have the opportunity to experience may cause some purging. I'm honest. I purged. Um, absolutely. And purging and letting go so that you may become anew. And by the end of the trip, that's what had happened. So this is what these adventures are about. And locally here we have Vedette. I've been speaking with Ruth, and she's going to open up the Hudson for us again. So that's really awesome. And we're hoping for April. I think she's got some people staying there to do some work on neighboring properties right now. And so we're hoping to go for April. So we got April for Vedette, and I haven't done anything for months. So I'm super excited. And that is dubbed the center of the universe. There's beautiful ley lines there. There's a lake there. There's a waterfall there. I won't say anymore because one doesn't want to have too much of an expectation, but everybody always gets what they need when we go to Vedette and to Egypt. Might not always get what they want, but they get what they need. And quite often that is in that afterwards in hindsight that people clue in, oh yeah, that was exactly what I needed. Yeah, absolutely. Good for you. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, pushing away. So we have more control than we realize as far as energies go. We have more control than we realize. So when you set that intention, when you command for that which you desire, every time I get in my car, I talk to my car. My car's paint job, it's a 2014 Audi Q7 diesel that I took the particular filter system off. That's a whole story in itself, but it's much happier now. And I call it Orca because its paint job was called Orca Black. And I'm like, of course. And it kind of curvy like a whale. So I call my Orca spaceship. It's my Orca spaceship. Everybody get out of my way. So, right, I'm claiming that as I'm getting in the car to drive. So I'm very present no matter what I'm doing because I have this beautiful opportunity to really observe. Numbers will catch me, whether it's the time or the odometer. So you see, it's never boring. I can listen to a podcast in there if I choose. I can talk on the phone if I need to. I try not to, not as much. And it's very safe. It's a very safe vehicle. I've had rentals recently and I'm like, oh my God, they make these new cars are just plastic. They're all plastic. You feel like you're waving around on the highway. It doesn't feel safe at all. So, so as you go into this holiday season, everyone, I'm really, however you celebrate, whatever you celebrate, do you. Do you, and don't be afraid to carve out time for you. Make sure you carve out those little moments, um, presents, mhm, put them in your calendar. Present for me, and you just take a few minutes for you, whether that's to go ground, take a few deep breaths, write down some notes, listen to a meditation, whatever you're called to do it for you. Because when you show up and you're calm and you're relaxed, watch what happens with everyone else. Watch how beautiful it is. On to a couple things around current energies. We had last night, both Norma Jean and I, and a few other people I've spoken to locally, couldn't sleep. and that is not like me. I can put myself to sleep really easily. I trained myself well. Yeah, and it was about 11 p.m., and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I'd had a little nap from about 9 to 9:30, and then I'd woken up again, or 10 to 10:30, something like that. Went to the bathroom, went pee, and came back to bed, and then lie there until, like, 1 a.m., and then woke up at, like, 3:30. I'm like, what is going on?" And I could feel the vibrations, I could feel the energy, not negative. No, just something's going on. Something's happening. It's specific to this area because nobody else was speaking about anywhere else at this point. So I don't know if anybody's been feeling more of that as well. Yeah, I do, from me to me. Beautiful, because it's my barn day as well. Yeah, carving out that little bit of time in the corner for you, whether it's yoga, some movement, making a cup of tea, baking some beautiful goods to share. 'Cause to me, that's one of the other best presents is sharing cooking. Because I love to alchemize. I can be on a call with a bunch of people on last Saturday during our membership meeting, and Chastity was on. I actually had to get up, go and alchemize. So I can sit and hold the container, but I can only sit for so long before I have to move the energies. And for me, making crepes for my daughter was helping with that. And of course, I ate them too. So that's what happens. And they were beautiful. Yeah. And I use Italian flour or the original non-hybridized wheat flour, Aeinkorn, Einkorn. So you can buy that. It's not the least expensive. You can also use spelt. Um, I'm not a big fan of rice flour. Spelt's not bad as an original grain, but the Italian flour is great as long as it's from Italy because it doesn't have the same processing. So, yeah. So doing some baking, gingerbread's one of my favorites, and I have to confess, I haven't made any shortbread yet because once I start making it, everybody loves it, and so I'm like, "Yeah, we're just gonna hold on that a little bit longer. We'll wait till we get to Whistler." And then we have the solstice coming up. And how was that full moon for everyone? Always for me leading into the full moon, and again, I was never anyone that followed the moon at all until a couple years ago. That's how much I've shifted to pay attention to energies, but that full moon was like, "Vroom," even the day before, the day after, and then it started to dissipate, which is why I was surprised last night that I couldn't sleep because it felt like it was the night before a full moon again. So haven't checked the solar storm activity or any of the Schumann stuff. I just move through it because knowing it won't change anything. So just really, how do I feel? And then as we're going into that darker, darker, darker till the 21st, and then we start to return to the light, but it's still that beautiful reflection time. What does my soul want to tell me right now? What does my heart want to tell me right now? What do I really want? Make yourself a vision board if you're called to. We talked about doing one, especially with Greece on the brain again. Yeah, Greece is it's very, very beautiful. And we do not do Athens. Not do Athens. No. We're gonna go to the islands and we're gonna have some beautiful space there. So there's some very beautiful hikes, and every island is like its own little dome, so to speak, its own little world, really. Every single island was so different and had its own little nuances and unique things, and you come into the port or you come in on the plane through a portal, right? The door on the plane or the ferry, and boom, you're in a new realm. So pocket realms, that's what we were calling them, pocket realms. Yeah. So where would you like to go? What would you like to do? What would you like to see? Dream a little. Write it out. Speak it out. I love you. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. We have membership at 5:30 tonight. It's education night. We're learn all about astrology and astronomy because really there's a cosmic clock out there and you sure can learn a lot. Dream a little dream with me. Beautiful. Absolutely. Aw. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for